welcome back to the show. This is the last case of John Morley. I know it's on PC and PS5. The developer sent it to me a couple of days ago, but I wasn't allowed to play it until today when it actually released. So, I know it's a narrative adventure set in the 1940s, I believe, so may not be doing a lot of talking because I think they're going to do most of the talking for me, but here we go. In the depths of darkness, he awoke with a start, heart pounding in his chest. The cold earth beneath him unfamiliar and damp. Darkness surrounded him, thick and oppressive. The kind that swallowed every sound except his own ragged breathing. He tried to gather his thoughts, but they were scattered, lost in the fog of confusion and fear. Where was he? How had he gotten here? As he forced himself to stand, the weight of an unknown terror pressing down on him. Somewhere, in the depths of the trees, he could hear it. Something was following him. Time buries all truths beneath shadows, but the past always has a way of clawing its way back to the surface, demanding to be heard, no matter the cost. Nice intro. And so it begins.
Where am I? I know it's following me. I can feel it. I shouldn't have taken such a risk. That sound. It's coming from the river.
Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel.
Shut up, Bot Rix.
If it catches me, it will show no mercy. I know it's hidden somewhere in this forest. I should be able to see its light soon. At last, I can gather my strength and plan how to face that monstrous thing.
What the fuck? I thought this was like a murder mystery kind of thing, but I just got like attacked by I don't know if it was a man or a fucking zombie. It was probably a nightmare. The piercing light of the morning sun stirred John from his restless sleep. I knew it. For months, strange nightmares had plagued him, and even the strongest sedatives couldn't dull the weird visions that haunted his mind. Another day in this wretched hospital. His wounds still ached, but he felt no regret. Despite the accident, he brought the culprit of those ghastly crimes to justice. After all, isn't that the duty of any good private detective?
The name's John Morley, private detective, and today is a momentous day. After enduring the most exquisite tortures at the hands of those blasted nurses, and being pumped full of enough medicine to fell an ox, today I'm finally free. Who would have thought that the case of the Red Shoes murder would end the way it did? A stormy night, soaked to the skin, wrestling that brainless killer on a rooftop.
It appears you're awake at last. We had considerable difficulty rousing you earlier this morning, so I deemed it best to let you rest a while longer. I bring you good news. The latest test results are favourable, and the doctor has authorised your discharge. You are now officially ready to go. I have placed your belongings on the table. With some clothes
This
from
chick
the dry
reminds me of
cleaner.
current day bitches with too much Botox, her face doesn't move.
I've been having nightmares.
The doctor has prescribed some medication that should help address any residual effects. This should assist in alleviating your nightmares.
So I'm better now.
Yes, you are much improved. Both your physical and psychological assessments have been satisfactory, and there are no impediments to your returning to your normal life.
My belongings? I thought everything was already in the room.
There are a few valuables and some coins we kept for safekeeping. They are in the box on the table.
A woman brought my clothes from the dry cleaner. Was it Penny?
I couldn't say. She arrived quite early, before my shift began. I've placed the garments in the wardrobe to keep them from getting wrinkled. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other patients to attend to. I wish you all the best.
Fuck it. Following surgical intervention on the prefrontal cortex and subsequent recovery, the patient's physical and psychological evaluations have returned satisfactory results. No impairments have been identified that would inhibit the patient from resuming normal daily activities. Fuck you for being split up. The following medications have been prescribed to manage potential residual symptoms. Chlorpromazine. The patient is advised to adhere to the dosage instructions provided and to attend any scheduled follow-up appointments. Dr. A. Fulmer. His signature covered up the letter.
Story of my life. Nearly broke. That's me, the bloodhound Morley. Blimey, it's nearly noon. I must have lost track of time in the... I better get dressed. The hospital gown that ties in the back doesn't exactly scream professional. There's notes from Penny, my secretary. She must have left it here a few days ago while I was still under observation.
It's too damn long to read.
Damn it, Penny. I don't blame her, though. I'm a right mess. I've managed to lose the only two things that kept me grounded. Her sound advice. Looks brand new. Well stocked. These do a fine job of... I usually use the Windsor knot. So the mystery woman who took my clothes to the cleaners was Penny after all. Seems she's still got a soft spot for me. Could there be a chance I might win her over? I'm not ready to leave just yet.
Well, what the fuck am I missing? Oh.
Blimey, what a fall I took onto that rain-soaked pavement. And to top it off, with that downpour, I ruined my best suit. But, well, that's all water under the bridge now. Quite literally.
I have no idea what the fuck I'm missing. Let me leave! I feel like it's that journal, but... Yeah.
Trench coat and
Oh,
field
god
hat.
damn it.
Every detective's must have. I'd better hurry up. Just like Penny says in her note, I might have a new client this afternoon. And with the way things are going, I can't afford to let that slip away. All right, let's get moving. Today's the first day of the rest of my life.
At last, back to the streets and the cold comforts of foggy old London. The chimneys filled the air with the familiar tang of coal dust, while the rhythmic hum of the small industries in Whitechapel, Stepney, and Southwark rang his ears like a symphony. Soon he'd be seated in his cluttered, dusty office once more, ready for the next case, perhaps finishing off some forgotten bottle of whiskey tucked away in a drawer, the morning of the irreplaceable loss of his assistant, Penny.
Back again. Feels like stepping into a forgotten paradise. Everything has got that same old charm, and yet feels oddly new. This hospital stint's given me a bit of a new outlook. Maybe I'll take it a shade easier from now on, sticking to cases that don't demand a trip to the morgue. Here they are, Penny's keys, just like it says in her note.
Are you not gonna move the fucking doormat back, you monster?
Penny's desk. I ought to give her a ring and try to sweet-talk her into coming back. The murder weapon from the cadaver collector case. Nasty business, that one. The case of the Red Shoes murder. One of the most complicated I've faced. Finally. Case closed. Even the coppers missed it. The slant on the letter E. That's what gave away the typist in the black letters case. My files. Cases, clients, debts. Too many debts. Far too many. This case is worth its weight in gold. Everything you need for a portable lab. The umbrella with a bullet hole. Souvenir from the marksman case. Nearly lost my hat on that one. My desk, strangely tidy. Normally it's buried under papers, notes, bits of evidence. Penny must have wanted to leave everything spick and span before she walked out on me. Another one of my cards. But this one has my last name circled. The Scarlet Page. I trust Penny didn't go snooping through my things while I was away. Oh, my apologies, madam. I didn't hear you come in. I was a bit distracted.
Good afternoon, Mr. Morley. I trust your assistant informed you of my visit as promised.
My apologies. I was rather engrossed and didn't notice your arrival. To whom do I owe the honour of this meeting?
Lady Margaret Fordside, the 4th Countess of Bloomsbury.
Lady Margaret, could you tell me what brings you here today? How can I assist you?
I shall endeavour to be as candid as possible. 20 years ago, when my daughter was just 18, she was brutally murdered. It happened at our family estate, Bloomsbury Manor. Someone slipped into the house unnoticed, and upon reaching her room, delivered 5 fatal stab wounds to her chest, lungs, and heart. The police, eager to close the case, hastily blamed and condemned 2 violent thieves who clearly had nothing to do with her death. The investigation was closed, and justice was never served. I am prepared to offer you £30,000 if you take on this case, and a further £30,000 if you can solve it and bring the true killer to light. Tell me, Mr. Morley, will you accept this case?
I understand your distress, Lady Fordside. But before I commit to anything, might I trouble you with a few questions?
By all means, Mr. Morley. Ask whatever you must.
A case that's been cold for 20 years. You certainly don't make it easy for me, Lady Margaret. What made you decide to seek out a detective now?
To have the case reopened. To prove that the real murderer escaped justice. But all in vain. Neither solicitors nor well-meaning police friends, nor even journalists hungry for a dark story have managed to uncover anything. Then one day, I read about your success in solving the case of the Red Shoes killer. Regrettably, I also learned of the unfortunate incident that left you hospitalized with grievous injuries. On the advice of your secretary, Miss Penny, I waited patiently for your recovery. And now, here I am.
Tell me about the men the police arrested. Why are you so certain they weren't guilty?
2 days after the murder, the police arrested a pair of violent thieves who were terrorizing the county at the time. Though they swore their innocence in my daughter Elodie's death, their criminal record completely undermined their defense. Seizing the opportunity, the police locked them away for their other crimes, and the case was closed. But what has always struck me as suspicious is that nothing was stolen on the night my Elodie was killed. If those thieves were truly the culprits, why would they murder her and then leave without taking a single piece of silver? It doesn't add up, Mr. Morley.
Tell me about Bloomsbury Manor. Do you still reside there?
After Elodie's death, I abandoned the estate. I couldn't bear to remain there, to live within those walls. Even now, when I visit the manor, it still feels as though I can hear her footsteps echoing through the halls, her voice humming that old melody, the delusions of an old woman who has mourned her daughter for far too long, Mr. Morley. No mother should ever have to bury her child. Should you accept the case, Bloomsbury Manor would likely be the best place to begin the investigation. I shall not impede your work, as I now reside at Bedford Square, in the heart of the city.
Tell me, were there any witnesses? Did anyone see or hear anything?
It happened at midnight. The house was practically empty at the time, with only a few servants and a guest who was sleeping in the west wing. I was the only one who might have heard something, as my room was next to hers. Unfortunately, I had taken a sleeping draught and fell into a deep slumber. It is a decision I shall regret for the rest of my days.
Well, I believe I have all the information I need to get started. I accept the case, and will begin the investigation immediately.
I'm pleased to hear that. My butler will bring you the £30,000 tomorrow morning. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have matters to attend to. Once you uncover the culprit, contact me at once, and I shall promptly deliver the remaining £30,000. Please, Mr. Morley, unravel this harrowing mystery that has tormented me for so long.
I mean, it's a fucking 20-year-old case in the 40s, so it's gonna be a bitch. It's no wonder she's offering 60,000 fucking pounds. The visit from Countess Margaret Forsyth was just what John needed. A case with all the right ingredients to stir his detective's instincts. An unsolved murder from 20 years ago, abandoned by the police in their incompetence, and a generous reward waiting at the end. What more could a man want on his first day back? The journey to Bloomsbury Manor passed... It's spelled different every time I see Bloomsbury. Passed without incident. Though the rough, neglected road... Anyway, ravaged by years of rain and wind, made for an uncomfortable ride. He arrived under the cover of night. The place was quiet, like the ruins of an old tomb, forgotten and forsaken.
As I made my way through the dense forest path, a haunting silence enveloped the air. It was as though the very night of the crime still lingered here, shrouded in an eerie calm. The manor stood before me, its facade as inscrutable as the shadows that danced in the moonlight. Every step I took felt like a step deeper into the heart of a mystery that refused to be forgotten.
Excuse me, sir. You're just gonna leave your car parked there on. Hmm.
Not a sound. The stillness feels heavy, like it's hiding something.
Oh my damn, what a letter.
It seems
Nope.
Elodie had a passion for art, but her style wasn't exactly well received. Disturbing from the looks of it.
Westland Asylum, a place of hope and healing. Just as all asylums were back then. Totally not a place for guinea pigs and bullshittery.
The door's chained up with a padlock. Looks like I'll need to find the key. A blue moon. Fitting for a place haunted by its own secrets. Looks like the Countess left this for me. It could be useful for getting around the place. A globe resting in a beautiful wooden stand. So, the housekeeper left a note for the Countess, asking her to meet here on the day of the murder. I wonder what truly happened during that encounter. Very well. Let's piece the events together, step by step. Looks like this is the Fordside family book, showing some of their ancestors. The lock has been concealed. This door must open by some other means. The Fordside family crest, a rampant dragon, a time-honoured symbol across European heraldry, particularly among the English and the Welsh. Another painting by Elodie. There's something deeply disturbing about her work. Lipstick stains. Same shade the Countess wore when she visited my office. An empty envelope. Did the housekeeper hand the Countess a letter? Looks like someone arranged tea in the library that day. The housekeeper's cup is still here. Tea spilled across the table. She never got to drink it. 2 chairs. One of them knocked over. It seems they met here. But something went wrong during the conversation.
I am very angry. After all these years of service, this is how you repay me? Walking away like this?
I'm sorry, madam, but the situation has become unbearable. My bags are already packed.
The Countess threw the housekeeper out in a fit of rage. In her haste, the housekeeper forgot one of her bags. What was it that unsettled the housekeeper enough to abandon her post so suddenly? Lady Fortside, still seething, but the housekeeper resigned. Seems something or someone troubled her greatly. Enough to break the long-standing family tradition tying her to this place. This painting, it's rather grim. There's something deeply unsettling about it. Almost like it carries a shadow of its own.
I feel like I'm missing a fucking clue. But I don't see anything. You're telling me that this book is not the clue, but them facing different directions. Or is it that he's facing the telescope? Is it the backgrounds they're facing, maybe?
Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel.
It was the book. You just had to read the tiny ass little letters that you could barely make out. Yeah, at least I figured that shit out.
Some sort of private study for the Countess. This looks like the key to the main hall. Could be my way into the heart of the house. Lady Margaret and a young woman. I suppose it's Elodie. They look happy. It was undoubtedly a better time.
Too many words.
Elodie was committed to a psychiatric facility, but she supposedly recovered from whatever ailed her. Her British passport. Lord Fordside was undoubtedly a man of the world. An old pocket watch. It probably belonged to Lord Fordside, Lady Margaret's husband.
Who's been watering that tree the last 20 years?
Here lies Elodie. Rest eternally, beloved daughter, beneath the tree that once watched you grow. So this is where Elodie is buried. This door is locked as well. If the Countess wanted me to investigate, why didn't she leave the doors open?
This bust literally screams at you and says, "Ah!"
Layers of dried oil paint, left untouched for 20 years. It's as if time stopped the moment Elodie laid down her brush. Feels like the room's holding its breath, waiting for something to stir.
I've provided a sample mechanism for Area C. Adhering to your original concept, I'd greatly appreciate a prompt response so that I may proceed with ordering the remaining mechanisms. Oh, you're a shithead. You're the shithead locking this place.
Lady Margaret took special care to secure the house, restricting access to certain areas. Looks like some sort of clue.
Trace the tree's journey.
Trace
Well,
the
you
tree's
motherfucker.
journey from birth to decay.
You read something for once.
Follow the path of the artist in a thoughtful display. Arrange the 4 stages and the door will obey. Unlock the path ahead as art lights your way. This door appears to lead out to the back garden. Locked with a padlock. I'll need to find the key. A man with his back turned, watching a ship go down. Looks like the last painting Elodie was working on was of a ship at sea. The whole gallery is filled with maritime references. She seemed quite obsessed with it. A grand ship on the open sea.
Why? Why are you giving me combo locks, you bastard?
The sinking of a ship.
Some of these paintings are really dark and sinister. This looks like Elodie's diary. Let's see what her last entries reveal.
I'm absolutely over the moon. Walter has written to say he is coming. I met him at the Western Sanatorium, and we have grown so very close. He was there recovering from the trauma of a shipwreck, where he tragically lost his companions. By sheer luck, he was rescued, but not before spending an entire year on an island living amongst the natives. He truly is an adventurer. I'm so happy. Walter has finally arrived. I must admit, I am utterly captivated by him. I invited him to visit, and he gave me his word he wouldn't fail to come as soon as he was able to leave. And now he's finally here. I can scarcely contain my joy. It feels as though all the darkness has faded away.
How they looked so in love. So happy. I wonder what became of Walter after Elodie died. Locked, as expected. There's a metal engraving. Those poor souls. Tragedy seems to have cast a long shadow over this family.
Damn it, it's not here. It's simply not here.
This must be the Countess's handwriting. What was she searching for? Looks like a commercial seaman's yearbook, listing ships and their crews. It's open to the pages under S.
That was the easiest puzzle in the game by far.
Boarded up. The access to the servants' quarters appears to be blocked for some reason. Something definitely happened here. Was it a struggle? A silver knife is missing, and it's nowhere to be found. Likely taken by the same person who caused all this destruction. These broken chairs. Someone must have hurled them to the ground with great force. Some of these tools have been bent, likely trampled over.
With one mighty swing of my crowbar, ta-da! And you broke the goddamn crowbar? The hell?
No doubt. This is the cook's room. A good way to motivate the staff. A backgammon board. One of the oldest board games. Miss Marva apparently knew her way around the tarot. What a dreadful spread.
and what a chilling omen it revealed. Evil approaches. It will bring death, and lay ruin to the house and all who dwell within.
Gasp! A code!
The young maid was an avid fan of actor Valentin Rudolph. What a collection of posters from his films! Is there someone else in the house? Who the devil is that man? He had a knife. I'm completely in the dark here. I don't think he saw me. Another boarded-up door. The question is, was it sealed before the murder? And why? This must be Walter Brandon's room. An empty bottle. It smells of good rum. The diary of Walter Brandon. Perhaps it holds some clues about who he was, and what his involvement in this case might be. A compass and a sextant, tools of a sailor. A model ship. Mr. Brandon must have felt a deep yearning for the sea.
I am terrified that man has found me. I fear something dreadful is about to happen. Tonight as I awoke, I saw him, standing at the foot of my bed. I could not make out his face, but his knife. The gleam of its blade shone in the darkness. I sprang up suddenly, determined to confront this stranger. Grabbing the heavy candlestick from the nightstand, I hurled it with all my strength. He vanished into the dark.
What on earth happened? Did Walter also see the mysterious man with the knife? It's absurd. This occurred 20 years ago. Surely that man can't still be lurking about. Can he? The painting of a ship, unmistakably in Elodie's style.
Coming here was a grave mistake. He has followed me, watching and lurking in dark corners, waiting to surprise me. I dare not tell Elodie. She would think the one thing I dread most for her to believe. I see him again from the window, watching me. His long hair and beard obscure his face, and he still holds that knife. He means to kill me. I am losing my faculties. It is best I return to the ship. Everyone seems to be conspiring against me. The housekeeper despises me, accusing me of misconduct. Perhaps I'm not a man of refinement, but I know what respect is. Yet this morning, as I woke from my rest, she was enraged with me. It was of no use to tell her I had slept peacefully.
Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel.
Crying and accusing me of having approached her in an unseemly manner. I would never do such a thing. I am a sailor, a man of the world. I know how to conduct myself.
The last entry in the diary, dated the very night of the murder.
My beloved Elodie, why can you not believe this poor sailor who only wishes to love you? I have left everything behind. My ship, the sea, all my world, just to be by your side as you asked me to. Damn it. I can hear the man with the knife coming up the stairs from the hall. I need to hide.
Walter was terrified. What in the devil was happening here? It seems this trunk was all Walter owned. I should take a look at it. A photograph of Elodie. No doubt Walter cared for her deeply. Seems I'm not the only one with a fondness for hats. Looks like the key to the back garden. I better head back to the staircase gallery. Pretty sure I saw a door to the outside there. Despite his injuries, the killer rid himself of anything that might incriminate him before fleeing the scene. The boots, the coat, even the knife. It's a chilling thought, but those very items remind me of the figure seen lurking near the manor, the same figure Walter Brandon spoke of with such dread, and perhaps the very one who was said to have harassed the maids. That mysterious presence was, in all likelihood,
I'm pretty sure the goddamn dude was just imagining him, and it was actually him doing the shit.
This ought to do the trick for that boarded-up room upstairs, just by Walter Brandon's room. at that old fountain in the garden, now little more than a basin of stagnant water, one can still make out the faint impressions of bloodied hands. It seems almost certain the killer stopped here, in a hurried attempt to wash away some of the blood spattered across his body. The gate still bears the macabre traces of that old tragedy, like a silent witness, pointing to the path taken by that murderous beast as he fled. Unlabeled liquor bottles. The damp and the passing years have likely worn away whatever once marked them. There's a distinct scent of wormwood, the plant at the heart of absinthe. Thujone, its active compound, could provoke hallucinations. Visions said to come straight from the goddess Artemis herself. A sharpening wheel. Lord Fordside likely crafted his own chisels. Lord Fordside was a gifted artist, no doubt, but his work betrayed a dark and tormented soul. This unfinished fallen angel stirs in me a curious sense of unease, almost repulsion. The door is locked. I'll need to find the key. Him again. Who the bloody hell are you? This room looks like it belongs to a woman. Lady Margaret, perhaps? The bed is made. The Countess hadn't yet gone to bed on the night of the murder. Seems Lady Margaret was reading in the chair that evening. The book's still open, right where she left it. It's a damn fine bottle of wine. No one in their right mind would open a vintage like this and leave it abandoned, unless something rather urgent interrupted the evening.
This is a nightmare. I am deeply concerned for Elodie. The housekeeper has long been warning me about Walter. I have made some inquiries, and nothing is as it seems. Elodie remains blissfully happy with him in the house. I am at my wit's end. Since her return from the sanatorium, she has been positively radiant, a true beacon of light. They go out together and seem to have a splendid time. He appears very close to her. This is in stark contrast to the picture painted by the housekeeper, which is a complete contradiction. Last night I heard him scream. He seemed to be in the throes of a panic attack. I approached on tiptoe to the guest quarters, and then suddenly I was struck with terror. An insane, maniacal laughter echoed through the night. It did not sound like him. The following morning, Walter and Elodie went out to sail on the pond. Everything appeared normal, and he was the most charming he has ever been.
Something made of glass has shattered here.
Oh my God, what is that noise? It's coming from Elodie's room.
I should finish gathering all the clues from the Countess's room before exploring other parts of the house. The fireplace tools, all knocked over on the floor, and unless my eyes deceive me, the poker appears to be missing.
Oh my God, Elodie!
Lady Margaret, quite agitated, grabbed the fireplace poker and rushed toward Elodie's room. A key, likely the one to Elodie's room. Lady Margaret lied to me. She hadn't taken any sleeping draught that night. She could have heard the attack and rushed to see what was happening. Why did she hide this from me? The more I investigate, the more convoluted it all seems. I should head to Elodie's room to search for answers. There was a struggle here, clear as day. Not a clean break-in. The killer wasn't subtle. A rag doll, tossed on the floor. I'd wager it used to sit neatly on the bed. Either it was knocked over in the scuffle, or perhaps Elodie dropped it herself in the panic. Photograph of Elodie Fordside and Walter Brandon. If my memory serves me right, looks like it was taken at Westland Asylum. A pool of dried blood. There's no doubt now. This was the scene of the crime. Judging by the sheer brutality of the crime, we can almost certainly conclude the killer was a man of considerable build. The blood-stained coat, found alongside the greenhouse knife, suggests that the mysterious figure seen loitering nearby may, in fact, be the very same individual who committed the murder. They say the killer always returns to the scene of the crime. But 20 years have passed. Why now? Let's attempt to reconstruct the events, just as they might have unfolded that night, and try to understand precisely what happened. A teacup on the bedside table. Elodie must have lain down that night, perhaps already drifting to sleep. The door's lock, completely broken, indicates someone forced their way into the room, likely startling Elodie awake. Elodie tried to flee, but the killer cornered her near the vanity. She lost her balance and fell, breaking the dresser and chair. The killer dragged her to the bed against her will. In the struggle, one of the vases fell from the mantelpiece. On the bed, the killer stabbed her mercilessly, again and again, staining the sheets with blood. That's when Lady Margaret arrived, striking the killer with the fireplace poker, knocking him away from Elodie. Wounded, the killer fled the scene. But it was already too late. Elodie was already dead. The old Bloomsbury mansion. It choked my thoughts. It had that kind of sadness that seeps into your bones like old damp, and that sudden abandonment, so clear before my eyes, looked like a sinister time capsule. One thing was certain. My next move was to dig up answers about the man with the knife, and about Walter Brandon, the sailor from Westland Asylum, an old, forgotten sanatorium that, 20 years ago, was the scene of a meeting between Elodie Fordside and that Brandon fellow.
Lament of the Forgotten. The old sanatorium loomed in the distance, silent and solemn, a monument to forgotten suffering. It stood like a sleeping giant, its walls steeped in the horrors of another age. John knew that crossing its threshold meant stepping into the labyrinth of the human mind, where the madness of some and the cold indifference of others had turned places like this into breeding grounds for nightmares. A creeping unease settled in as he neared the entrance. A whisper of dread.
Botrix has correctly joined the channel.
Shut up, Botrix. Curling at the edges of his thoughts, yet he pressed on. He needed answers, and he was certain they lay waiting in the dark.
It was an ungodly hour when my battered car crept along the winding, shadowed road leading to Westland Asylum. What I found upon arrival was disquieting. The building, forsaken for more than a decade, remained illuminated. Was it some ancient emergency system defying the passage of time? Or was someone awaiting my arrival?
And I'm guessing we're at about the halfway point of the game, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. So, thanks for watching, wherever you're watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that damn notification bell and tell it to alert you every time I do something cool like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.